Hi, welcome back. I'm Professor Sunil Maheshwari with the Department of Accounting at Eberly College of Business. Today we'll be talking about the transactions, analysis of the transactions, and basic rules of debit and credit and how to record a transaction. Starting with what is a transaction? It is any event that can be measured in terms of money. So it provides information about an exchange that has taken place, that is something given, and something received. And accounting will record both sides of a transaction. For example, for a whole food market, purchasing fresh produce or sell a product or borrow money or repay a loan, they are all examples of a transaction. So as we saw that the basic accounting equation, or in the balance sheet as we show it, you've got assets equal to liabilities plus stockholders' equity. And all of those transactions will impact the assets, liabilities, or stockholders' equity separately. For example, what are assets? We'll look at the assets as the economic resources that provide a future benefit. Cash includes bank account balances, paper, currency, coins, certificate of deposit, etc. What is accounts receivable? It's a promise to pay someone for the goods and services that has been received. In terms of notes receivables, this is a promise for future collection of cash. So customer has signed a note and will be paying a certain interest rate on that note. In terms of inventory is the goods that the company sells to the customers. Prepaid expenses is also in the category of assets. Those are expenses paid in advance, such as insurance and rent. So you might be paying the insurance company advanced insurance premium for 6 months. So you are entitled to the benefit of that insurance coverage for next 6 months. So you have prepaid the expense, and you are expected to get the benefit for the future, and therefore it is considered as an asset. Cost of land used in operations is also considered as an asset. Other long-term assets over here are building, equipment, furniture, and fixtures. So cost of the building that is used in the operations is the value of the asset. Similarly, cost of furniture, fixture, air conditioning, less depreciation will give you the value of the equipment, furniture, and fixtures. In terms of liabilities, some of the current liabilities are accounts payable. For the accounts payable, this is a promise to pay a debt. In terms of notes payable, it is opposite to the notes receivable. In this case, you have promised to pay someone in the future is a certain amount based at a certain time and at a certain rate of interest. Accrued liabilities are liability for an expense that has not yet been paid. So you might have worked for 1 month at a company and you may not have been paid for that. So the liabilities for the company has occurred, but it has not been paid, or it will not be paid until the next of the month. The third portion of the accounting equation is the stockholders' equity. The common stock is the money that is invested by the owners in the corporation by buying the stock. Retained earning is again net income and losses over the company's lifetime less any dividends. And dividends are considered as distribution to the stockholders. Revenues and expenses will also impact your stockholders' equities. Revenues will increase the stockholders' equity from delivering goods or services to the customers. Expenses will decrease the stockholders' equity because it will decrease the net income, and it is the cost of operating the business. So let's think about two things that would increase the stockholders' equity or decrease the stockholders' equity. When we think about, say, increasing two items which will increase the stockholders' equity, one is the sale of stock. So if the company issues more stock, and the net income will increase the stockholders' equity, that is when revenues are greater than the expenses. Similarly, when you pay off the dividends, it will decrease the stockholders' equity, or net losses will decrease the stockholders' equity. Now, we will look at the impact of business transactions on various accounts. Accounting, as we said, is done using the double entry system. That is, you record both the receipt and the payment side for each transaction. We record it as a debit or a credit under using a T account, and we record the increases and the decreases in these T accounts using the words debit and credit. The left side is called the debit, and the right side of the T account is called the credit. Now, as a general rule, any increase in assets, expenses, and losses will be debited. Any increase in liabilities, revenues, and gains will be credited. Once again, it is so important that you understand this part, and if the transaction is in the nature, if the transaction impacts the assets and it increases, it will be debited. Similarly, the expenses when increases is debited. Similarly, losses when increase is debited on the left-hand side. And the reverse is also true. So if there is a decrease in asset or losses, it will be credited. You credit any increase in liabilities, revenues, and gains. Now, to make a journal entry and to record a transaction in the ledger, you read the transaction and determine which accounts are involved. You identify the nature of the account involved, that is, whether it's an asset, expense, revenue, etc. You will determine whether the account will lead to, whether the transaction will lead to increase in value or decrease in value of the asset, expense, revenue, etc. And then you follow the rules, that is, debit any losses, debit any increase in assets, expenses, and losses, or credit any increase in liabilities, revenues, and gains. So to illustrate, if Auto Services received $500,000 and gave stock, what is the effect on the account? First of all, there are two accounts that are involved. One is cash and the other is common stock. Since the cash is going up, it's an asset, it is debited, and the common stock is going up, and that is credited as per the rule. So that's how you will record a transaction. Let's take another example. Freddie's paid $40,000 cash for land. So the two accounts that are impacted is cash and land. Cash is going down because you have paid the money, and the land is going up. So you debited the land and you credited the cash for $40,000. Another transaction, we can do more transactions. We'll do some more transactions later. The two categories of income statement we saw earlier were revenue and expenses. If you increase revenues, it will increase stockholders' equity. Therefore, when the revenues goes up, it is credited. And when expenses goes up, it decreases stockholders' equity. And when the expenses goes up, it is debited. So assets is equal to liabilities per stockholders' equity, as we did in the fundamental accounting equation. And stockholders' equity consists of those items which we have mentioned earlier: common stock, retained earning, less dividends, plus revenues minus expenses, or basically net income or net loss. So if you look at the rules of debit and credit, if you look at the asset, if the asset goes up, it is debited, and goes down, it is credited. Similarly, if your expenses go up, it is debited, and if your liabilities go up, it is credited. If your common stock goes up, it is credited. If your retained earning goes up, it is credited, because they are similar in nature. And if your revenues go up, it is credited. In case of dividends, if the dividend goes up, the dividend account is debited. So assets is equal to liabilities plus stockholders' equity. And those are the rules which you can follow. Now, first step to record a transaction is called journalizing the transaction. You record the transactions in a chronological order, and first you specify the account that is impacted. It determine which account is impacted and determine whether it has increased or decreased, and then you record it in the journal entry. So for example, business received 50,000 cash and issue stock. Both cash and common stock will increase. So cash is an asset, it is debited. Common stock is part of the stockholders' equity, it is increasing, it is credited. So on April 1st, you made the entry, cash debited to common stock for issuing the common stock. From each of these transactions, all of these accounts, when they are put together, is called a ledger. How do you copy the information or transfer the information from journal entry to the ledger? So cash was debited by 50,000. So left-hand side of the T account is cash, 50,000 debited, and credit common stock by 50,000. So you just took the debit side on the debit on the debit side for the cash, and credit on the credit side of the common stock. So when the transaction occurs, you analyze the transaction, you enter it in the journal, and then post it to the ledger accounts. Suppose you receive 50,000 cash and issued stock to the owners. So your cash has gone up by 50,000 and your common stock has gone up by 50,000. So your journal entry is cash to common stock. Above, it is also showing the impact on the accounting equations. Now to post it into the ledger accounts, that is cash and common stock, you debit the cash 50,000, credit common stock by 50,000. That is posting into the ledger account. Here is another example or transaction. Paid $40,000 cash for land. The two accounts that are impacted are cash and land, which are both assets. Land is going up, so it is debited, it's an asset. Cash is going down, it is credited for 40,000. And then you post it into the ledger account for cash debiting 40,000. Cash crediting 40,000 and land debit for 40,000 from transaction number 2. Transaction number 3, you purchase supplies of 3,700 on account. That is, you did not buy it for cash, but you have to pay someone $3,700 later on. So your supplies is an asset, it goes up. Accounts payable is your current liability, which is going up, and is credited. So two accounts that are impacted are supplies and accounts payable. So supplies is debited by 3,700 from the debit side, and the credit side 3,700 for accounts payable. Transaction number 4, performed services for clients and received $7,000 in cash. So two accounts that are impacted are assets in terms of cash and your revenues. And since cash is an asset, it is increasing, it is debited, and service revenue is increasing, and it is credited. When you post it into the ledger, you see that cash is debited by 7,000 in the cash account, and the service revenue has been credited by 7,000 in the service revenue account. Here is another example where you perform services for customer on account. So in this case, again, two accounts are impacted, assets as well as revenue, but you have not received cash, but a promise to receive the money in the future, which is called the accounts receivable. So the other account that is affected is the service revenue. So if you look at the account receivable, you will debit it by 3,000 and then credit service revenue by $3,000. Transaction number 6, if you paid cash for rent, employee salary, and utilities, all these three are expenses, and since all three are increasing, then you debit each one of them. Rent debited 1,100, salary debited 1,200, and so on, and credit cash as you have paid that in cash. To record them in the T accounts, as far as each of the account is concerned, you debited them for 1,100, 1,200, and 400, and credited cash by 2,700. Here is a transaction for accounts payable. You paid 1,900 on the accounts payable created in transaction 3. So there was a liability which you owed money to someone, you paid that, so your cash is going down, and similarly, since you have paid it, you no longer owe that money. So your accounts payable will now be debited by 1,900 and your cash is credited by 1,900. So you just took the debit side of accounts payable and debited accounts payable, and now your balance of account payable has gone down by $1,900. From the previous transaction, you received $1,000 on account, so you received cash against the account receivable which you had, on which you were entitled to receive the money. So cash has gone up, and you are no longer entitled to receive that $1,000. So your account receivable account is credited by $1,000, and cash has increased by $1,000 or debited by $1,000. Suppose you sold a land that for cash at a cost of $22,000. In this case, one asset has been exchanged for another asset. So cash has gone up and your land has gone down by $22,000. So in this case, your cash is debited by $22,000 in T account, and the land is credited by $22,000 in the T account. Declared and paid a dividend of $2,100 to the stockholders. In this case, you got the dividends account and is debited as it increases, and you paid cash is going down, and that is why it is credited for $2,100. So if you look at the T account for cash, you got $2,100 credit and dividends for $2,100 debit. Now, if you look at the summary of these accounts, let's take cash, which has the maximum number of transactions. What do we do with these T accounts? We find the balances for each of these T accounts. So you look at the cash account, look at the debit side, you add the numbers on the debit side that will add up to $80,000. You add up the numbers on the credit side that will add up to $46,700. you subtract the smaller total, that is 46,700, from the bigger total, that is 80,000, you'll get a balance of 33,300. Place that difference at the bottom of the bigger total, that is on the debit side for cash. You do this for each of those accounts, and you will find that accounts payable has a credit balance, account receivables, all the assets will have a debit balance, all the expenses will have a debit balance, and liabilities, revenues, stockholders' equity will have a credit balance. So that is assets, expenses, and losses will have a normal debit balance, and when the difference that you have made is placed between the difference between the two sides is placed on the debit side, it's called a debit balance. When that difference is placed on the right hand side, that is the credit side, it is called a credit balance. So as we see in the summary, all these assets, dividends, expenses, they have debit balance, liabilities, common stock, retained earnings, and revenues have a credit balance. So what we do next is we understand that we have got, for example, common stock has a credit balance of 50,000, revenue has a credit balance of 10,000, supplies have a debit balance of 3,700, cash has a debit balance of 33,300. What do we do with it? What we do is we take these debit and credit balances and make a summary out of it. And that summary, I'll show you in a second, is called a trial balance. When you look at the T accounts, it can be in the T shape, which we did earlier, or in a 4-column form where it shows the date, item, debit, credit, and the running balances for the debit and credit. Generally, when you have a computerized accounting system, you will see the 4-column T account, 4-column accounts. Now, another term which you will come across is chart of accounts, because all the balance sheet accounts or each of the account that is impacted, especially in a computerized system, you will number them. So all the assets are, say, numbered 100 from 101 to 100 or 1001. Liabilities are, in this case, say all of them are numbered 200, and so stockholders' equity items are numbered 300, revenues all the 400, and expenses 500. You can have it at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, doesn't really matter, but this is for easy identification when you make the journal entries. So what do we do to do the trial, make the trial balance? You list all the accounts with their balances. Assets are listed first, liabilities, stockholders' equity, and all of them are, a summary of those balances are made. And usually it is prepared at the end of the period, and this will help you to make the financial statements. So if you look at the example of a trial balance, it is whatever the balances we had earlier. In cash, 33,300, account receivable 2,000. All of the debit balances have been put together, and your total is 61,800. And you got all the credit balances put together from those T accounts for a total balance of 61,800. The total of debit side should match the total of credit side, because for each debit you had an equal credit amount as well to make the double entry. This trial balance is then used to make the financial statements. For example, you will take the cash, account receivable, and supplies and land, and that goes to the balance sheet. Accounts payable, common stock will go to the balance sheet, and so on.